Last time on Square Roots, we wake up in an abandoned mining facility where we meet a zombie grandma and a chauvinist. Later, we reprogram some killer robots, rescue a room full of corpses, and step outside for some fresh space air. In space, no one can hear you podcast.
And welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zant.
Heyo.
John Force Lightning Brandon.
Great job keeping it together, Jim.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And this is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs. This week, episode 2 in our KOTOR 2 series. KOTOR 2.
What makes KOTOR 2 a classic RPG other than the Star Wars license? That's what I want to know.
It is very good, and people like it very much. And also, Jim did sound like he was about to say the title of the episode, which we have not decided on yet.
I was gonna go there, but I didn't have anything to say.
Episode 195. More apologies to Dominic Monaghan.
Further apologies to Dominic Monaghan. No, guys. So what else? What's going on, guys? What are you up to?
Well, is this the level up segment?
Yeah, now we're gonna level up.
Or is this now called, hey, what's up, guys? What are you up to?
This is our new podcast, Hanging with Square Roots.
Hey, Vanessa, what are you up to?
Yeah. What I'm up to is I did a whole bunch of shopping today. I bought like 5 sleeping bags and a bunch of toilet paper and some towels and stuff. I shouldn't say I bought it. The people bought it. The people with their donations. I did have the privilege of helping a friend who was organizing relief packages for people in Puerto Rico. So just FYI, get out there and do something. Or don't. I don't care. John, how did you level up?
Wow. This is a punchy episode of
I'm sorry. That's all I did. I've been working a lot.
No, that's fine.
I went to Walmart. I guess the reason I wanted to bring it up was because I want to remind people that as of this recording on January 12th, 2020, Puerto Rico is still experiencing multiple earthquakes a day, and people are sleeping on the street. It's not getting a lot of news coverage for whatever reason, but there is a crisis ongoing there. People are very scared because they don't know when it will stop or if it will stop. So if you can do something to help, try to do it.
That sounds very scary.
It is very scary. Everything's very scary, and I don't like real life. I only like video games. Jim.
Yes.
How did you level up?
I went and saw a movie in the theaters.
Can we guess?
It was called Underwater.
What?
Ooh.
And it starred Kristen Stewart and Vincent Cassel, and TJ Miller was also in it. It was kind of like Alien, but it took place underwater.
So kind of like Abyss.
It is kind of like the Abyss, but it had scary monsters. It's a monster movie.
Ooh.
It was pretty good. Kristen Stewart, she's a good actress, and the movie had some good set pieces. There were like 6 or 7 characters in this movie, and I don't remember any of their names or what they did or their relationships to each other, because like it's not that good of a movie. But it had cool monsters, and Kristen Stewart was really good. And it was pretty claustrophobic, and you were genuinely worried about everybody running out of oxygen. So it was good. I liked it. I give it a 6 out of 10.
A 6 out of 10, says reviewer Jim Banks on
6
Underwater.
out of 10.
Not very good. 6 out of 10.
I
Jim
mean,
Banks.
for a movie
Not a very
that
good
comes,
movie.
for
6 out of 10.
For a horror movie
Better
that
than
comes
average.
out in January, it wasn't bad. John, how did you level up?
I watched some more Good Place. I saw the new one. I don't know. It didn't work for me, but I think I need to rewatch it because I think you have to really be paying attention. I wasn't paying enough attention, maybe.
Quit smoking dope while you watch TV.
I don't smoke dope.
Quit smoking meth while you watch TV?
I don't smoke meth. I was watching and I was like, this is all right. And I also re-upped, because I was trying to play games with people this week. I was in a real multiplayer mood and no one was around, so I re-upped my Final Fantasy 14. Why are MMOs so bad?
And why do you
They
keep playing
are,
that
though.
game? They suck.
John tried to get me
genre.
to play an MMO.
I did. I tried to lure her to the dark side and play some, Star Wars The Old Republic because it's free and we could play together.
Yeah, he was like, hey, how about this game we're playing? We play a worse online version instead, but we can do it together.
Yeah. We could also play Borderlands.
Yeah.
That's fun.
We should finish Borderlands first. But John is right. I'm never available to play with him.
No, it's okay. It's like I want to play at 8 to 9 p.m. your time, which I assume is kind of when people are eating or going home or getting ready for bed.
Yeah, or watching their very important TV shows like Married at First Sight. I changed my level up. My level up is I watched the first wedding episode of Married at First Sight, the best television show that there ever was. It's about people getting married at first sight. This season is set in Washington, D.C. A group of expert matchmakers come and interview singles, and they pick 5 couples to get married at first sight, and then they do it. They get legally married without knowing each other at all.
Why would they do that?
Because they believe in true love.
How long do they wait before they start screwing?
Sometimes less than a day.
Oh, well, that's
I mean, it is your
sometimes-
spouse. I don't see the problem.
yeah.
They never do during their whole marriage.
What was the shortest marriage?
Well, after 8 weeks of the show, they decide if they want to remain married or get a divorce.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if anyone has ever stopped after just 8 weeks because, frankly, I like to watch the first episodes where they're married at first sight, and then I do not like to watch the rest of the show.
God damn it, Vanessa.
It's just the same as I always like to watch the first episode of The Bachelor or The Bachelorette to see the parade of contestants, and then I have no interest in who actually quote-unquote wins. I just want to see a freak show. And by freaks, I mean people who are willing to go on national TV to quote-unquote find love.
And Adam Jr.
And, Adam Jr., I miss him so much. I was rooting for him.
That was the puppet, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Vous pouvez gagner ma cœur, Vanessa. Oh, Adam Jr. is here.
Oh, Adam Jr., how have you been?
Pas mal, Vanessa. Et vous?
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I mean, I've been a little mal myself, but I'm better now that you're here.
Ah, merci beaucoup, Vanessa.
Oh, Adam Jr., tu
Now-
es très
Now
jolie.
kiss.
I want to see Vanessa kiss a puppet.
You'd have to pay me a lot of money to see that.
But I'm gonna play with my friends, so that'll be fun. Playing Final Fantasy 14. I will tell you more about it as that occurs, but I do want to play more games online. It's just tricky because I work night shift on the West Coast.
Why do you want to play more games online?
I don't know, just been in the mood to play games with people. With friends, not with randos.
I had a dream I was playing Fallout 76, a game I have never played.
Oh yeah, that's I was thinking Vanessa and I could play that too and review it.
Have they fixed it, though? I thought they were going to try.
You're going to have to wait till they add human players, which is like in another 6 months. Or human NPCs.
Yes, that's what I want, because that's what I love about Fallout games.
Yes, and they decided not to put that in their Fallout game, which is a really weird choice.
It's so weird.
Anyway, Matt, how did you level up? Or Matt, what are you doing, buddy? Or whatever Jim's segment is called.
I believe
Hey,
it's...
what's up, guys?
I think it's Sup, Brosifs? Our
Sup,
newest,
Matt?
hottest segment. I did 2 things. I saw some dinosaurs. Rawr.
Excuse me?
IRL?
I went to a show called Jurassic World Live.
What?
What?
And there were
no.
dinos, and they stomped around. It was at the local arena where the Lightning play, the hockey team. It was like a play, but like on an arena floor.
Did they ever stop to think if they should do this?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that they did, and then they thought, well, yeah, it's going to make us money, so let's do it. Just like in the real Jurassic World movie.
Did they
Was this-
escape?
Sure. The play takes place kind of in between the movies, maybe? I don't know. It's got a real, it had a real simple story. It didn't take me more than a few minutes to realize that none of the actors were actually speaking their lines. It was all pre-recorded dialogue. But they definitely had some dirt bikes that did some jumps, and they had some fun action scenes, and they had dinos!
Excuse me, but was this show on ice?
Nope.
Oh. What? Well, I thought maybe it was like Disney
Well, it
on
was at the
ice,
hockey
but
arena,
Jurassic
but
Park.
it
Yeah.
was not on ice. They covered the ice. So, it was fun. The puppets, the dinosaurs looked really great. They had velociraptors and other 2-legged dinos that were like a person in a suit, but they looked very real, and they moved very well, and it was neat. And then they had a Triceratops and a Stegosaurus and a T-Rex all on some sort of wheeled contraption, like a little car. There wasn't any place for anybody to drive. I wondered if they were like giant remote control cars. They stomped around, and it was great. It was a lot of fun.
Was
I also
there
leveled
a
up.
Chris Pratt?
No, it was all new. It was all different characters. There was the sexy, super smart lady scientist and the sniveling douchebag scientist that was madly in love with her. And then they had 2 interns, a know-it-all blonde and a Fortnite dancing, joke cracking young man. And they went and saved a dino from a research lab and then took it back to Jurassic World. That was it. So mercenaries tried to stop them. They had a neat fist fight on top of a like cliff, you know?
Oh,
it was
wow.
high up. And some fun stunts and stuff. And yeah, it's about what you would expect from one of those things, like a kind of a live show geared at kids. But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So you're saying there wasn't fountains of blood?
No fountains of blood. Nobody
What
died.
was your favorite dinosaur?
The T-Rex was pretty fucking rad.
What a
I mean, it
fucking
was
lame
gigantic.
answer. That's some basic dinosaur.
There was a pteranodon, a pterodactyl, something that flew down at one point and snatched a man up off the ground and lifted him all the way up into the rafters, and that was a lot of fun.
That's cool.
Matt's other favorites include Mickey Mouse and,
Leonardo?
The rabbit.
Cyclops?
Yeah, Leonardo. Cyclops.
Those are my favorites. I also leveled up
Cloud.
my smart brain having skills by watching Jeopardy!
Ooh.
Oh, the Tournament of Champions?
The greatest of all time tournament.
I teared up when that guy wrote that nice "We all love you, Alex" message.
Mm-hmm.
That was so sweet.
That
was a few weeks
it's
ago.
him. It's that. So it is a. I don't know how to describe it. Each game seems to consist of a 1-hour block of television that is 2 rounds of Jeopardy, and it is just whoever made the most money by the end of the night wins that night. and they're playing first to 3. And so far, Ken Jennings, who is still the longest running contestant on the show with his 74-day streak, has 2 wins, and James Howitzer, I don't know what his last name is.
Howitzer.
Who has the largest single day winnings, has 1 win, and some other guy whose name I don't really remember, Adam or Mark or something, has no wins, and he has the most money. He has won the most money on Jeopardy over time. It's all these 3 champions, and they're going against each other. It's interesting. James is the newer guy, and he plays a very aggressive game where he starts at the bottom for the big money questions, and then he hunts around for the daily double and tends to bet his entire pot on the daily double to take a commanding lead. Mm-hmm. The old guy, Adam or James or whatever his name was, no, not James, Adam or Mark or whatever his name was, has found the most daily doubles in the 3 episodes that have aired so far, and has failed to answer a single one of them right. And he's doubled down every time. It's been pretty fucking amazing. It's the most intense Jeopardy I've ever seen ever. It's crazy. They go very fast. They get very few answers wrong. Yeah, it's wild, but I'm really enjoying it. This is probably the first time I've ever really watched an episode of Jeopardy, and I watched it all week, and I'll continue to watch it into next week until somebody wins 3. Yeah. Maybe Ken.
How many questions have you gotten right?
I've gotten a few right. In fact, I got 1 right, and unfortunately, I was not able to remember what the question was, but I did get 1 right the other night, the first night, that none of the 3 contestants were able to answer. Nobody even buzzed in.
Whoa.
And I called it out. I've gotten a few. Not a ton. I'm not a big trivia guy, but when it's something I know things about, I can do it.
What
anyway, check it out. It's going to
about?
continue next week, or rather last week if you're listening to this on release date. So maybe it's already over. Go back and watch it.
Do what you want.
That's how I leveled up. Or excuse me, that's how I what's up bro'd. So, Jeopardy Dinos. What's next on this show? No, it's time for the Jellicle log.
That was the Codex.
It's time for the Codex.
I thought it was the Shitlord Journal.
No, it's the Codex. Isn't that what Vanessa wanted to call it? I can't remember.
The Codex.
Oh no.
Why does she want to call it that? It's not called that in the game.
Because
I think Vanessa wanted to call it the Holocron.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Is there a holocron in this game?
Nope.
Probably.
That's a Fallen Order thing.
Yeah, that's a Fallen Order thing.
But there's been in other games, too.
Don't know much, so probably not.
That if you go to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disney World or Disneyland, you can buy a Jedi holocron for $50. And if you buy a Kyber crystal for $13, you can put the Kyber crystal in the holocron and it will play an audio clip.
Wow.
What?
I don't like to read about what is at that Galaxy's Edge place because I know that I can't afford it. And I don't need to know about the, wonderful fun time I could be having with a short, hour and a half drive.
Oh,
it does
seem Matt.
Very expensive.
Oh, boy. Building a lightsaber is, hundreds of dollars.
I think the lightsaber is
One of my coworkers just went there last week. He's going to be back tomorrow.
I think the lightsaber is $180. I think the droid is $200. And this is all American money. Ugh.
I mean, just getting through the door at Disney is expensive as hell.
Yeah,
And
first you have to
so
buy the
is-
park ticket.
So
And to even
is-
get into the Star Wars part, you have to get there at like 5 a.m. and line up to get a pass to get into the Star Wars part.
Maybe in a
That's
few years, I'll take the
so
kids and let them
crazy.
pick one thing to build between the two of them. It's like at the Jurassic Park thing. The prices were outrageous on all of the not just the food, but like all of the crappy plastic toys. You know that piece of garbage that you can buy like at the fair that's like a stick with some lights on the ends of little light ropes. You hit the button and it spins.
No.
I know what you're
rope.
talking about.
Great. That was $50 fucking.
Excuse me?
Okay.
Those things are trash. They sell those at like trash fairs.
Well, these were Jurassic World brand. They had dinosaurs on them, so that's a lie. The crappy like light up swords that you can always buy at these events as well, also $50.
No.
The family in front of me at the concession stand each got one drink. The 3 children got snow cones. That is some ice with some flavored syrup on it.
$40.
The woman got a drink and the man got a something else, and it was $100.
What?
Matt, you're accidentally adding a 0 to all of these
No, I'm not.
prices.
I
God.
made my kids settle on one bag of cotton candy to split between the two of them. Do you want to guess?
$15.
$15.
Yeah.
Dang, for cotton candy.
It did come with a
Da-da-da-da.
T-Rex hat. I mean, like a foam T-Rex hat, not like a hat. Not
You
something that's
take
going to
turns
actually
wearing
have
that
like
hat,
last. Not something that's going to last more than 2 minutes, but you know. Anyway, I think it's time for us to level up with the Holocodex.
Holocron.
It's C2E2's log.
So last time, as you'll recall, we were on Paragus 2, the mining station. And as we flew away, it did blow up either by our own actions or the actions of another. So we fly to Telos because we found out that's where the Ebon Hawk was programmed to go. And as soon as we land, Lieutenant Gren comes and gets all up in our face.
He sounds like a regular actor. He has a super familiar voice, but I can't place where he's from.
Yeah, he sounds like a normal actor. So just imagine what a normal actor sounds like, and that's him.
What
Maybe that's
is
not what you meant by
generic
regular.
actor? Who's the most normal actor of all actors?
Oh, that's a great question.
Oh. Gary Oldman.
What are you talking about?
That was a terrible
just
answer.
He's just a normal actor.
He is widely lauded for being a spectacular actor.
Richard Gere.
Also a terrible fucking choice.
Who would you say?
Army Hammer.
Army Hammer's a young
Just-
man talent.
Oh boy, he's almost 40 for sure. Also, like real just average.
But have you seen Call Me By Your Name?
I have not, so that's a good point. I've heard he's really good in that.
He was pretty good in Wounds as well.
I think a normal actor is like, you know, the guy with like the thick black glasses who tries to sell you insurance or something.
Mm-hmm.
That guy. He's a normal
Charles
actor.
Dennis.
His name's Charles Dennis, and he tries to sell you insurance.
He's a Canadian actor.
Definitely this episode has one of the worst voice actors I've ever heard in a video game.
Is it Atten Rand?
No, it is the fourth party member that will join us at the end.
Oh, okay.
He is awful.
Who does the voice of Atten Rand?
Your mom.
Oh, according to Google, it's lauded voice
Gerard
actor
Butler.
Nikki Cat.
No idea who
Because
that is.
Atten Rand's voice actor is terrible. Like, he is...
Are you sure you aren't just confused about the character being terrible?
No, because his delivery on some of these lines is just
Really?
really
I didn't
bad.
notice it. I don't talk to him much though. Like I legitimately just fucking shut him up and read his dialogue.
I don't know who Bao-Dur's voice actor is, but we'll get there.
He's Mario's arch nemesis. Maybe
no,
you've heard of him.
He's got a very famous
breathes the
Gait,
fire?
Bao-Dur's Gait.
Terrible.
So we get sent to space prison.
It's true. We get sent to
Again.
space jail. This is very
Second
reminiscent of
prisoning.
the first game.
I'm still not totally convinced we're not playing the first game.
Yeah, Jim thinks we're just replaying the first game.
I got a lot of backstory on our dead ghost friend, and is she my character from the last game? I'm
No.
confused.
I think you get some, so you might figure out who she is, though. Anyway, so
I
Lieutenant,
definitely did not. Is
So
she
you-
supposed to be anybody other than Revan and Malik?
I
think-
have an idea, too. We'll talk about it at the end of the episode.
All right.
Okay.
So Lieutenant Gren, he does tell us to drop our weapons and go with him because we are accused of blowing up the mining facility, which we maybe did or did not do.
Definitely did.
Definitely did not.
It was a whoopsie.
So
And in Jim's game, he wasn't even offered the option. He just walked out of the mining facility. Everybody said good day. That was it.
did any of you try to resist this guy?
Why would I do that? He's so nice.
Yeah.
No. I was a dick to him, but I decided that if I want to get the most out of this game, I need to be a dick, but not so much so that I'm murdering people and making them hate me.
That makes sense.
So I guess I have to treat this game like real life now. Why am I even playing a game?
So we do get put into prison, which is just like a tube with a force field around it.
That doesn't
But
seem very comfy.
No, it's not, and it doesn't seem very humane, but he does say that he's working on getting us a fully furnished apartment to stay in.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. But then Batu Rem shows up and he's like, "Oh, you guys are free to go."
He doesn't. He shows up and he's like, "Ha ha, it is I, Batu Rem. I have chased you across the galaxy, and now I am here for our final confrontation.
That's
You will
legitimately
never
exactly what he sounds
escape
like, too.
Batu Rem."
Yet another example of just the fucking horrendous voice acting in this game. I'm an assassin! Actually, I don't know why. That was better than the fucking acting in the game, for sure. 100%. It was like a fucking Cobra Commander. You're welcome, world.
So he does drop the force fields in order to murder you, and you do instead murder him.
Yeah, he's like, "I'll pick a fight with you, Jedi."
Yeah. He jumped the force field and I force lightning him right in his goddamn face.
I've been using the Force Scream just to like mow down humans. It's pretty interesting how well that works.
Yeah, it's a good one.
I'm
This
a light
isn't the
side.
last you've heard of Batu Rem.
I think it is.
What stat raises the like attack of the force powers?
Wisdom.
I need to raise my wisdom, I think, because my shit's not as strong as it should be.
Right.
Yeah, you do.
Because
Yeah, I do. That's why I'm watching Jeopardy, Jim.
I've set my my character up to have super high wisdom, so like I can kill groups of enemies with as long as they're humans with Force Shout in like 3 hits. It's pretty
Isn't that
interesting.
a very evil thing to do?
I mean, it's not good. It's not a light side power.
Does wisdom also increase the amount of force that you have, or is that intelligence?
I don't know. I think it
I
might.
need to beef both of those things up. How do I not have a fucking lightsaber yet, by the way?
The next episode you get a lightsaber.
Fucking stupid ass goddamn Star Wars games don't give you the lightsaber for like a goddamn 10 hours.
You missed the ending of this chunker, Matt, where the lady has your lightsaber. It's like, "Oh, here's your lightsaber."
Oh, really?
Yeah, too bad I'm not giving it to you. Oh, well.
They asked me what kind of lightsaber I used to have, and I was like, double-bladed and red as fuck, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's how I roll.
I love double-bladed lightsabers, man. Like, I'm ready to... I have turned on... in this, I don't remember if it was the same in the last game, but in this game, double-bladed weapons and two-handed weapons are the same skill, and I have got that mastered. Because I like to kill things.
I mean, that's a good way to do it.
I also
Why would
very
you not
stupidly
ever want to do two-handed or wear heavy armor?
I never want to wear heavy armor. It's
I
too
always
heavy.
wear the heavy armor.
Doesn't that restrict your force powers?
Heavy.
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, you don't want to have heavy armor if you're going to be zapping people with the force.
Jim wouldn't know because he can't lose health when he gets hit.
I'm not playing on God mode, but I have all my stats cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
But I do have
11's not very high.
I mean, 11 metaphorically.
I do have a dark Jedi robe that I bought. Oh no, gray Jedi robe, because that increases my amount of force I have, I think.
Ooh.
Yeah, I wish the robes were cuter, though.
Yeah, they look like poo.
I'm wearing a cool light armor now that it specifically says does not restrict force powers. And it's like chrome. It's like a chrome skirt. It's cool.
Could you get like a sexy
skirt.
robe that's like cinched and like nice and revealing? Mm-hmm. Maybe a V-neck?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
You're
wearing
saying
a
I can
force
get this?
bikini.
No, I'm just saying what you could, like, a force bikini?
I don't think that you do. I did also get the robes that I think that Matt is talking about that has a little bit of a cinched waist. It looks more like maybe some kind of Japanese half
Not
kimono
a robe.
or something.
Didn't say it had a cinched waist.
Oh.
I was talking about just my ideal robes with like a nice form-fitting robe with like a deep V-neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So after you kill
Y'all seen that picture of the guy who plays Skimbleshanks in Cats?
Oh, I think we talked about this last time.
That's my ideal Jedi outfit. What he wears in those pictures floating around.
Isn't he naked?
Weird. Me too. My ideal Jedi outfit would be for my Jedi to not be wearing any clothes. Her name is Jellicle Cat.
He's not
she's
naked.
just
He's wearing a
stripping
dance
to pay for
belt.
college. I'm sorry.
He's
Is he
wearing
not naked? I thought he was. Is that not what you're talking about?
No, he has a little dance belt on. You just have to look very closely. And I encourage listeners to do so.
Oh boy. So after you kill Batu Rem, the Republic forces show up and like, oh, that's weird. I thought he was on vacation. What's he doing here? Oh well, sorry about that. Now you get a luxury apartment as our way of saying sorry for almost getting you killed.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then they also, doesn't someone say it's not Batu Rem, though? It was so confusing.
I wasn't sure. He says that Batu Rem's on vacation.
Yeah, he's like, isn't that Batu Rem? And then someone's like, that's not Batu Rem. And then they're like, you killed Batu Rem. It's like they can't figure out whether they think that's actually Batu Rem or not.
You know, it's one of those things. Batu Rem was a man of mystery.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's been too many humans in this game so far. I want to see more aliens when I play a Star Wars game.
Yeah, like a Gleep Gloop or a Bleep Blop.
We need more Gleeplops, yeah.
What is that? Looks like a diaper in that shot.
I think it's it's like a onesie kind of thing, but
he's pulling it down.
Yeah.
That guy's cut from marble.
Yeah. He's
Look at
like,
that guy.
That's ballet dancers for you. People think that male ballet dancers are like wimpy boys who you can beat up, but they will kill you with their bare muscles because that's all they are. Pure
Yeah, I feel like
muscle.
I'm going to cut myself on that guy's chiseled features.
Way to buff up those glamour muscles, dude.
Matt says he could beat him up in a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, ballet boy.
Hang on. You don't have to make it about the ballet, John.
Matt to
aspersions on me.
Skimbleshanks, get bent.
Breaking news.
Whoa, look at that butt.
Breaking news. Oh, boy.
What's the breaking news?
Damn, that just looks painful.
Like to be
butt?
that hard.
No, to have that thing jammed up your ass so much.
Oh.
You want to make sure that thing goes straight into the washing machine afterwards.
Oh, boy.
Just straight in there. So what were you saying, Vanessa, about Babu Frick
I don't know, because now I'm looking at these
Babu
pictures.
Sorry, Batu Rem.
Something about Babu Frick. He's
Okay,
really...
I'm really spy. That's what it is.
I really liked the when you get to the apartment, the luxury apartment, then you like want to go to bed, but you just keep getting woken up by phone calls.
Yeah, you get like 3 phone calls. And it's so irritating because it's like bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop, bloop, bloop,
I got
bloop, bloop,
confused.
bloop.
I was like, am I playing Persona 5? Because it kept making me go to bed.
And
making
then
me go to bed, game.
every time there's a phone call, your characters like talk about how there's a phone call for 2 minutes before you can answer it. And in the background, the whole time, it's just going bloop, bloop, bloop. Bloop,
You can
bloop,
also
bloop,
have
bloop,
a
bloop,
conversation,
bloop, bloop, bloop.
like go through dialogue trees with that bloop, bloop, bloop going on in the background if you choose
I
to.
just clicked on someone and started talking to them. I'm like, I want to know more about the Force. And the phone's just like ringing in the background.
Those Ithorians are very patient.
Bloop, 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 bloop.
So you get a call from this Ithorian. He's asking for some help. He's got like a force-sensitive Ithorian master shaman guy who wants to... They're on a planet restoration kick. They're going from planet to planet, reintroducing biomes. But they're having problems because Zerka is getting in the way, and one of their droids went missing.
Yeah, so they're like, when you get out of your prison, can you please come visit us nice Ithorians? And you're like, okay. Or not. Did any of you just say like, no, I won't go, leave me alone?
No, I didn't. Because I'm not... Maybe Matt did. That seems like something Matt would do.
No, I wasn't sure which way I was going to have to go on this one, so I kind of told them both, like, yeah, maybe I'll come by. I really wanted to go to the Ithorians because they were like, we can fix your force problem, which we have not even talked about, by the way.
No, I didn't really know I had a force problem until Chodo Habat told me I had one. And that sounds like something that a cold reader does.
I talked to Kreia while I was waiting before I went back to sleep and like got a whole cutscene about her past. And she explained to me about how the Jedi Council like cut me off from the Force, basically.
Oh.
Yeah, you're an exile.
I
she
think
says.
I missed all that.
So you're in exile, and the Jedi Council cut you off from the Force. And then your character says basically that it's like being blind and deaf. And then the Ithorians call, and they're like, we can fix your problem. So I was like, ooh, can I have them fix my problem, then fuck them over? But
you sure
no,
can.
I had to go. Can you?
I think so. You can, yeah, because you can, like, they won't fix your problem until you've done nice things for them. You're right. Yeah, because they hold out on you for that until you've done, like, 3 things for them.
Yeah, I didn't want to gain a bunch of light side points, so I had to go work for the corporations.
I do think you get a bit more, like, force pool from doing that. Like it restores your force powers and gives you more force points.
Well, definitely in the story, they're talking about, like, Kreia will ask you in an area, like, did you feel the force? And you can be like, yeah, I felt like a whisper. They're treating you like you've been cut off from the Force. But on the other hand, I am blasting motherfuckers with Force lightning constantly. So I don't know what they're talking about. Like,
right.
I haven't been cut off from the Force, madam. I have Force points. I can see them. They get depleted when I use my Force powers.
So, the second phone call you get is from Jana Lorsa's droid? Or is it from her? No, it's from her herself. And she's like, hey, so I know you've been talking to those Ithorians, but don't listen to them. Why don't you come talk to me? Like, we've got a really good setup here, and we're doing a lot of good for Telos, and they're just giving you all sorts of pseudoscientific mumbo-jumbo, but we're actually doing the hard work and have the resources to do so. So why don't you talk to us?
In light of the anti-vaxxer movement, this, like, the good guys are super into pseudoscience thing is really disturbing.
But to be fair, this is a magical universe. You know?
That's true. That's a good point.
You can once
Are
again.
you saying that the real world is not magical, Vanessa?
If anti-vaxxers were shooting force lightning out of their hands, maybe people would listen to them more?
I think that vaccines are the force lightning of our world.
Well,
anti-vaxxers are like the dark side of the force.
Whoa.
Yeah.
We're losing so many listeners right now who are out there with their measles-infested children being like,
flu
"Why?"
shot will actually give you the flu.
So so you get the second phone call from the Circa lady, Lorsa. Were you nice to her, Vanessa?
I was polite, and I did tell her that I'd stop by her office because why wouldn't I? Like, she took the time to call me, and may as well just go and hang out.
Now, you quickly realize this is a Outer Wilds or Outer Worlds kind of situation where there's like factions and you can kind of side with whatever faction, because there is the Zerka, there is the Ithorians, and there is the Exchange.
Yeah. The Zerka and the Exchange are pretty tied in together, at least on this planet. It's been 20 minutes since we started talking about this episode, gang, and we're still in the first fucking room.
That's not true. We're in the second room.
Yeah, the second room. So Lieutenant Gren comes out and says, Lieutenant Gren comes out and says,
ice cream?
What does he say if you did blow up the station?
Happy New Year, Lieutenant Dan.
Because I didn't blow up the station. So he was like, yeah, we saw that it was this other ship, the Harbinger, that blew up the station, so you're fine. What did he say to you, Matt?
I lied to him and was like, nah, I didn't do that.
Oh.
I have a lot of lie. I have jacked up persuade. I will say that this is the first episode. I mean, it's only the second episode, but midway through this chunker is the first time I was able to force persuade somebody to do something, and I was kind of pissed about it. Like, one of the first powers I chose was dominate mind, and I have not had the fucking chance to use it once.
And you get dark side points from doing that too. Like, you should not, if you are trying to play a good guy, do not do what Matt is doing.
It doesn't make sense. Obi-Wan force persuaded somebody.
Yeah,
he's the ultimate good guy.
Yeah, that kind of pisses me off.
Is he?
Yeah, well, he uses a mind trick, which is a dark side power.
But is he the ultimate good guy?
No.
Yeah, he's like the ultimate Jedi Knight.
He totally betrayed Anakin and went to kill him on that planet.
That's not betrayal. Anakin betrayed him and murdered a bunch of children.
But I do like that I'm going to try, because in this game, unlike in the last one, you can be dark, light, or gray Jedi. And I'm aiming for gray. So I'm going to use some force persuading.
John, come on.
I'm a centrist
One person on the show is
Jedi.
already going to be a gray Jedi.
Who's that? Jim?
Who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, Jim?
Jim's gonna try his best.
Hey, Jim, did you gain any dark or light side points this episode at all?
I got some light side points.
Sure you did, pal. I have some dark side points.
So at this point, Gren says, hey, you can go grab your stuff. It's over at the TSF station and get your ship. And so if you head on over there, you find out that your ship is missing.
Real fucking bullshit. Can you, your ship gets stolen. Come on, game.
You did get that cutscene. That was the one I was thinking of with the pixie-haired girl.
Oh,
Pixie
I did
cut.
get that cutscene with is that a pixie cut?
Yeah.
She has short hair.
Yeah, that's a pixie cut.
Oh, I'm thinking of a bob. Never mind. I'm
Yeah,
done.
pixie cut's like Kess from Voyager.
Means nothing to me.
Oh.
Wow.
So she went and stole your ship, I guess. And they're like, yeah, sorry, we don't really, this is like the most realistic police interaction. We don't really know what happened to your impounded vehicle, so
Yes.
sorry about that.
Yeah, and they're like, you impound at your own risk, and we're like, what? We didn't want to impound. It's sorry. You can't sue the city.
So you can at least they said they're going to really look into it, your stolen ship. But now you have to kind of solve it on your own using one of the 3 factions.
That's right. And those factions are Squiddos. I guess they're more like Slugmen.
Yeah, they're like rays. I always thought they were more like rays.
Like a stingray?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Or like a snail.
Okay.
Yes. So the snail men, and then there's the snail men. They deliver packages. Then there's the corporation. They fuck you over. And then there's the criminals. The only nice people in the game.
Whoa, hot take.
Well, yeah, Chodo does seem to be talking to you like a faith healer. He's like, oh yeah, your force is really damaged. And if you do a lot of work for me, I'll repair your force. But you're going to have to do like 3 separate jobs for me before I do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Circa made me... What did the Circa make me do?
Steal the robot. They want
No. Yes. You're right.
Yes.
Well, because I don't know if you had to do this too. I had to do jobs for the Zerka, and then the last job for the Zerka led me to the exchange, and then I had to do jobs for the exchange. And I've kind of gotten them all mixed up.
I didn't do any of those.
Yeah, I just worked for the snail men. They did have plants, and that made me think they were nice.
And
I assume they just had you deliver packages, didn't they?
Well, first they wanted you to get their droid out of this bay and escort it home. And if it does get attacked by Zerka people.
I got to steal the droid by convincing the Ithorians that I was totally there on legitimate business. And then I told the droid to go to the Zerka Corporation, and the droid was like, that's not what they said. And I was like, I'll fucking kill you. And the droid was like, yes, sir.
I got attacked by the Zerka troops and had to fight them in the bay, and then escorted the droid back to the Thorians, and everyone was real happy. But then they said, hey, we're having a lot of problems with the Zerka hiring exchange, and the exchange is blocking our shipments. Could you help us out with that? We have an informant within the exchange who's working for us, Luxa, who I met before when she was like hitting on me at the bar, and then her coworker got mad at me.
She hit on me too. She's like, ooh, a beautiful lady. And I was like, okay, bye. I'm going to go play Pazak now.
And the other guy was like, well, I'm stronger than you. You're some dumb Jedi. Well, I could beat up a Jedi. And I'm like, let's see you try. Oh, maybe later. And he like wandered off. That guy sucked.
Yeah.
I definitely killed that dude.
Oh, I did too.
Oh, I didn't. I just talked him down. I was like, calm down, buddy.
No, but I didn't kill him there. I killed him
not there.
down, buddy.
Later on.
Hey, bud.
I killed him later.
Oh. I don't think I did.
I think you might have. Actually, I don't know. I think you might have been able to use because I was like having persuade issues this whole time.
Ah.
And so things didn't go
really?
as well. I don't know. Like this whole, okay. So this section, basically you're trying to get the exchange to work for you. And Lux is like, oh, we'll help you out if you help me become head of the exchange on the Citadel station. And have we mentioned where we are? So that we're on a space station around Telos. Telos is the planet from KOTOR 1 that got blown up by Darth Malak.
Yeah, it did
Oh,
get
really?
super bombed.
Yeah. That was the one.
I don't remember that.
It was already kind of trashed before. If you remember, there's like a shitty village on the surface and you help them find Shangri-La.
Yeah, they're like, finally, we can go to our promised land. And then the next scene is like,
I
bomb
remember
the
that.
whole planet.
Yeah.
There was a real rich-poor disparity.
Yeah. It's that planet.
Okay.
But it's all blown
It's garbage.
up now. Yeah.
Yeah, the surface is covered in like an acidic mist. You can't even land a ship on it without a shield generator.
Yeah. So the lady's like, I want to be the big dog on this station. Help me kill my boss. And I was like, that was Shusk or Shulk. What was his name?
I
Shulsk.
don't remember.
Shulsk. Yeah, that sounds right. So I was like, okay, you know what? I'll do that. And I'm sure Vanessa was like, oh, I would never kill anyone for anyone.
I was, and then later I did say that I would do it because I couldn't figure out a way to proceed otherwise.
Vanessa, you basic.
There's got to be another way to do this. Cause so basically I went in and then, so I said I had a appointment with Shulsk and, lied to the receptionist that of course I had a appointment. And,
this I think is the person I finally got to force persuade.
I just
I think
regular
she called
persuaded
me on
her.
my lie and I was like, actually.
Oh. So I got in there, and then got to, I think there was one set. Oh yeah, that guy from the bar saw me and he was like, I'm going to kill you. And then I killed him.
Oh.
And
See, I
then,
had Lux. Are we talking about when you went to assassinate the guy?
yeah.
I had Luxa. I did have to. Yes, you're right. I killed the guy from the bar, and then
Yeah.
the Gamorreans. Luxa has convinced to just let you through,
Yeah.
and they open the door into the inner chamber for you so that you can kill Shulsk, and instead you have to fight his 2 dumb robots.
But I have destroy droid at this point. So it was like just zapping lightning out of my fingers at both the droids.
Yeah.
I'm
good
zapping
guy.
lightning out of my fingers too, but not with fucking light side powers.
And then I killed, he's like, hey, we can be friends. You can be my new right-hand man after I lost this last one. Vanessa, did you manage to talk your way through this? What happened?
Well, the lady runs in and she's like, hey, now we're going to take over. And I was like, whoa, I'm not here to like pick a fight with anyone. I just want to like chill out and have a good time. And she's like, fine, then I'll kill you. So I did have to kill her and fight her goons. And then the guy was like, so now what? And I was like, how about you leave the Ithorians alone? And he's like, why would I do that? And I'm like, because I won't kill you if you do. And he was like, okay, sounds good. But I think it was the wrong decision because he does have an Ithorian in a cage in a nearby room. And I couldn't let that Ithorian out.
Oh, I
because
did.
I tried to use his computer console, but it was like, you can't use it with him just standing there. And I was like, I sure can. And then I couldn't talk to him about letting the guy go or anything. So I was kind of bummed.
Do you know how I solved that particular problem?
How?
Killed everyone.
Oh.
The whole room. And then I let the Ithorian go, and the Ithorian was real happy to leave.
Yeah, I don't want to kill unnecessarily.
I'm okay with it. But even if you do kill him, she's like, okay, so I know that I said I was going to help you, but actually there's still that bounty on your head. And that guy at Shaddaa is he's really hounding me lately and kind of like saying I'm doing a bad job. So I still have to kill you.
Oh no, I can't believe it.
Yeah. So,
Well, I don't feel bad then about having to kill her.
yeah, Matt, what happened with you? What happened with you with the exchange?
So I did some jobs for Luxa. She got me through the door.
What kind of jobs? Stealing stuff, smuggling?
Well, yeah, I had to go steal no, that was the smuggling thing. Man. Well, I don't remember what the first job was. The second job I think that I did for her was I had to go beat up a guy for some gambling debts, and I killed him. And then I came back, and she's like, "You don't have to fucking kill him." And I was like, "No, whatever."
Oh, that guy comes back too.
Nope, he sure doesn't in my game.
Well, we have a mission involving him too.
And then Luxa, so I get Shulsk alone, and Luxa comes through the door with the Gamorreans in tow. And, I basically was like, fuck all y'all, I'll kill every single one of you. And then I did.
So you didn't get to
I told
work
that
with
guy
Luxa?
I was going to kill him, and then I killed him, and then Luxa started talking trash. And I got to be honest with you, I wasn't waiting around to see if she decided she wanted to kill me, or what her deal was. I just said, fuck you, you're dead, and gave her the old lightsaber. Sans lightsaber, because I don't have that yet. I
think
throw
Jim's-
lightsaber because I'm really bad at picking my force powers.
Throw lightsaber is fun, right?
Yeah? I don't have a lightsaber
Yeah.
yet, so I
we
would
don't
fucking
have
know.
it yet. We don't have. That's right. Is Jim wrestling a bear?
Yeah, He's definitely having sex with a bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said wrestling.
Those pictures of Skimbleshanks got him too hot and bothered.
So, oh boy. So Vanessa,
Yes.
at this point, I guess the Ithorians have a third mission for you, which is my favorite mission in this game so far.
What is it?
Vanessa,
It's
why don't you tell us
amazing.
about it?
It's so good. So the Ithorians are like, well, what we'd like to do is hack into all of the corporate secrets.
My favorite.
Yeah. And the way we want to do this is by sending this brand new protocol droid we have. Oh, no, they want you to bring the Circa protocol droid to them, and then they will reprogram it to work for them. Mm-hmm. So in order to get the protocol droid, you have to find the droid repairman.
Mm-hmm. Which is the guy with gambling debts.
Yes, he has a lot of gambling debts. He wanted 2,500 credits, which I didn't have that much, so I had to go and like sell a whole bunch of stuff. And
Me too.
Boo,
Then,
should have killed him.
you can say that you'll just like kill him if he doesn't give you the stuff.
I actually, just saying that wasn't enough. Like, he like begged. It was real uncomfortable.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Did you kill
I was
him?
like, I'll kill you if you don't give me this money. He's like, look, legit, I don't have it. And I was just like, then I have to kill you. And he's like, really? You would do something like that? And I was like, let's see what other choice I have at this point. And then Kreia got real mad at me. And I lost some Kreia influence.
Really?
Wow,
I thought like that kind of thing.
Yeah, she's like, oh, we gotta talk to her, talk about her in a minute.
Yeah.
Cause she starts being real shitty.
She's very irritating.
So Odo Chano, I went and sold a bunch of my loot and got just enough to be able to pay off his debts. Fortunately, I've been like collecting mines and those sell for quite a bit.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, selling mines and grenades and stuff and shields is always good.
So,
Grenades are the best in combat.
They can clear out a room pretty effectivi
Mm-hmm. But so is my force shout. Hi! Their heads all explode.
Dovahkiin! So I got the pass saying that I was the repairman. I went and got the droid and escorted it back to the Ithorians, and the Ithorians decide that they're going to program the droid to lie. And Aten freaks out. Because Aten does not like droids, and he doesn't like women. And he's like, you can't program a droid to lie. It will be just like a woman then. A machine that deceives you.
Wow.
Yeah. Aten's terrible.
Yep.
So you program this droid to lie, and then suddenly you are the droid.
Yes, you sure are.
And it's great because the head Ithorian explains your mission to you, which is to go into the computer room and download the files. And then he says, do you understand? And you can say yes, or you can say no. And then it has lie in parentheses. And so I picked no. And he's like, you don't? And I was like, just kidding. I'm testing my lying protocol.
At this point, you can also do a couple of, you can extort people for the droid's benefit outside of there.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
You can extort Odo Chano for credits, for wiping my memory too many times. And you can go to the docks and then get like a percentage of all fees coming in. You can extort a droid out there. This doesn't go to your main character. This only benefits the droid.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Wait, so it makes you play as the droid?
Yeah, you're playing as the droid.
No, not R2, a C-3PO style droid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do any of this.
And you walk around, it's like clink, 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 clink. So, I clink-clanked my way into the Circa headquarters, and you kind of lie your way back to the computer room. You're just like, I need to check the servers. And they're like, okay, sounds good.
I told Jana, hey, I need to check that back there because I think there's actually extra profits we didn't report properly. And she's like, extra profits? This will make my
that's what I
corporate
told her
masters
too.
so happy.
She was like delighted. And you go in there and there's a little like a T3 unit.
Yep.
And it's so amazing.
I love this.
So you talk to the T3 unit, and the T3 unit is like, essentially, I'm going to report you. And then you start persuading it, and you're like, you're programmed not to hurt people, right? And the T3 unit's like, yep. And then you say, well, if you look at the logs, it will show that these corporations' actions are hurting lots of people. So by being in here and performing your function, you're hurting them. And the T3 is just like, bloop, 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 bloop.
And you're like, well, you could go out and start shooting everyone with your stun gun, but that would be terrible. You definitely should not go and do that right now.
Yeah. And then the T3 loses his mind. And it's like, I'm going to go out there and shoot everyone with my stun gun because there is no morality anymore. Everything I've known is a lie. And I'm going to burn it all down. So it goes rolling out and it's just like, pew, 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 pew.
We never find out what happened to that droid.
No, I'm sure it's fine. So then you can download the information, and you can also erase any record of your sale or ownership to Circa. So you are a free droid, free to extort whoever you want to.
Yep. Then you get back to the base with the info, and they're like, well, I guess we'll just leave you as is, thanking as a thanks for letting it, for it getting all this information. And you won't do anything bad with your ability to lie, will you? And you have two choices. One is, I will not do any harm. And the other is lie. I will not do any harm.
And I totally chose lie.
Yep, me too. It doesn't give you dark side points because this is just you playing as a different character. This is just
the robot.
Yep. So I have left this robot going out in the world being super evil.
I assume that
That's
robot takes over the exchange and becomes the head of that on Telos Station.
I bet that this robot shows up in the Old Republic MMO somehow.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't get to do any of this. I went back to the Zerka Corporation, and they were under attack. I thought I had broken the game. I thought the Zerka Corporation was attacking me. But I decided to see what would happen if I fought my way through. And then when I got to Jaina, Jaina told me, Jaina thanked me for saving her, and there was a whole cutscene. The mercenaries wanted more money, and Jaina told them to get fucked, and they attacked her, and then I killed all of them. There were legitimately 20 guys. It was pretty fun.
Mm-hmm. Did you force shout them or force lightning them? Or
I mean, I force lightning. I think around this time I got, this is right around the time I leveled up and got Force Storm, I think is level 2. And
that's where they twirl around, right?
No, that's the third one. This is the second level. Anyway, and it hits 4 people at a time, so that's a lot of fun.
Ooh.
You just zap the shit out of everybody. But that was kind of it. She thanked me and paid me, and then told me that she would arrange a transport ship to take me to the surface, and that's what we did.
Why would she take... did she somehow know that your ship had gone to the surface? I guess by process of elimination, right?
I don't remember the details.
Okay. Well, pretty much the same thing happens with the Ithorians. They say, oh, well, we'll get you down to the surface. Do you want me to give you force healing? And here's where shitty Kreia comes into play. Because she's like, what are you doing helping these people? You should let them help them by helping them help themselves by not helping them. Basically, bootstraps, hard work. This is the only way for people to grow. You are just letting them be welfare babies by Yeah,
welfare babies.
She gets real
She said the
hardline.
same thing to me. She was like, totally this like Ayn Rand bullshit. And I was just like, okay, Kreia, like, first of all, well, she was saying like, I'm your teacher. And I'm like, I never agreed to that. I don't think.
Yeah.
Like maybe
I told her
said
that she could be my servant. And I was like, teacher, student does not sound good to me, but master servant sounds pretty good.
Kreia's just like, she's just awful. Like,
That's
Kreia
interesting.
and Atten are both terrible people.
I didn't get any of that. I had Atten arguing with me constantly about how the exchange are like dangerous and do I really want to get involved with them? And I definitely was just telling him to shut the fuck up.
Well, Kreia's like, now, the only reason your friends are around you is because they're using you. And they'll ditch you as soon as you have given them what they need. And I'm like, no, I think you're wrong. I think we're just friends. And she's like, no, you're wrong. They're only using you. The only reason people interact with each other is to extract benefit from each other. I'm like, you can just stop with your Randian lectures there, lady. No. And she's basically saying that I'm doing more harm by trying to do good because I'm not letting people solve their own problems, which is where they get their strength and growth from.
Yeah, she says that by like taking on their problems, you are stealing from them the opportunity to like solve their problems themselves.
Mm-hmm. You hear this a lot if you go into political thought.
I mean, I guess it's sort of the teach a man to fish philosophy, but she also doesn't want to teach anyone to fish. She just wants to like starve a man until he somehow miraculously learns to fish because he's desperate.
Yeah. It's a very convenient philosophy where you don't have to do
it's
anything
great.
to help
Yeah, you
anyone.
could just keep everything for yourself and never help anyone.
Right. So we get into some political debates with Kreia, who doesn't like what we're doing, but and she also does not want Chodo. What was his name? Gosh, I have it right here.
Head slug.
Chodo. She really doesn't want Chodo messing with your mind.
Yeah.
Because she thinks that'll create some kind of effect where he can control you, maybe.
I don't know, and she's sort of arrogant about it. Like, there's no way he could help anyway. He's just like a slug.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, let's let him do his thing. And he gave me more force points.
Yeah.
So who was wrong here, Kreia?
But he also, like, he essentially just gives you a therapy session.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, you've been through a lot. Get better. Like, be strong. He says at one point to another Ithorian that you're carrying a planet's worth of pain with you.
Right. He does say that.
And never has he ever seen someone so ridden with anxieties. So apparently he hasn't met me. Hey!
So then you go to the ship that he set up for you to go to the surface because by process of elimination they figured the Ebon Hawk somewhere on the surface. But
Did you say the Ethan Hawke?
the Ethan Hawk
Hawke is somewhere on the surface.
but on the way you get a emergency phone call. Mercenaries are attacking the Ithorians and you have to go back and save them.
Yes. And I did.
Yeah, I think you can there's one guy who has a key card to the Chodo, but you can save him or let him die if you don't get there fast enough. But I was just screaming my way through these people.
Yeah, I used my super night speed and I was just like, zoop, 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 here I come.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I could have just gotten on the ship and left them to their fate.
You can totally let them die.
I finally, I switched over to Kreia and switched her to Jedi support so that she'll use her fucking heal because she's the only person in the party that has it.
That button seems kind of broke because it's like a switch and you're supposed to be able to toggle between different modes, but it always sticks to like aggressive no matter what I do.
Double click it. I was able to make it work, but it took a lot of clicking. You have to like switch it and then click the portrait. It's
is
dumb.
that it?
Yeah. I switched her to
okay.
Jedi support and she started casting Jedi speed on me, which is another thing I don't use.
Oh, nice.
And, yeah, on top of activating turbo mode like Jim advised me to.
Oh, no.
Where you run real fast. I zip, like, it's like my character's on an acid trip. Like, the whole world goes funky when I'm running at 60 miles an hour down hallways.
Oh, yeah. Night speed makes, like, everything around you get kind of fuzzy and blurry.
And it's kind of a 2005 blurry that looks real bad on modern systems.
Yeah, it's just a smudge effect, essentially.
Yeah. So eventually, so you get to your ship or the shuttle and head out of the station. Cut to.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Cut to.
this is depending on what you've said Revan did and who Revan was. Either you see Admiral Karth or this guy Seed. I don't know who Seed is. Talking to Lieutenant Gren about you escaping.
Oh, well, I definitely saw Karth, and boy, was I happy to see him.
Who did you see, Matt? Oh. Matt? Oh.
Matt?
Maybe Matt saw Seed. Because I would assume if Matt had an evil Revan, then you would see Seed, because evil Revan would have killed Karth.
Yeah, but Matt ran away, so we'll never know.
Well, we'll ask Matt when he gets back.
Jim, who did you see?
I haven't played that far yet.
A confession, live on the air.
Well, yeah, this game's going to have some beefy chunkers. They're going to be like 4 to 5 hours. You might want to get started the day before, maybe. We'll do a slightly shorter chunker next time so you can catch up.
I finished the other Star Wars game in my backlog, though, so...
I'm working on that one.
I still need to finish that.
The Ninth Sister was really hard.
It's the hardest boss fight in the whole game, I think.
I had to dial it down to normal difficulty, but it wasn't any easier, so I should have just left it on hard.
Wow.
It's hard. How many stim injections do you have so far?
3.
Oh, see, I had like 5.
Oh, that would make it easier.
Yeah, that does help, especially in the end when it's hard to predict your attacks.
Yeah, and like the only thing I could do to get around the thrown lightsaber was jump. I've been using the double jump a lot more.
Yeah, me too. That's a real saver in like all combat situations, especially those like black stormtrooper guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, back to KOTOR 2.
Back to KOTOR 2.
I did figure out the problem with Fallen Order though, and it's not. It's the writing. The writing's really bad.
It's okay. I don't think it's terrible.
I feel like it gets progressively worse.
Oh, maybe I haven't got. What about you, Vanessa?
Yeah.
So far I think it's kind of boring, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the dude that plays Cal Kestis is really good, but all of what he's given is bad.
I like Grease.
He's like the best character. He's the most well-written character, I think.
I liked him sitting down and being like, talking about you and Suri.
And he has like a good arc, too.
Yeah. He says this is the best thing that's happened to him, but really? We've just like been traveling from planet to planet for 3 days.
Yo, we're talking about the wrong game.
Okay. I was just kind of wasting time till Matt got back, but I guess he's not.
Well, let me tell you about Karth. Oh, Karth Onasi, my number one video game love. Never have I ever, on this show or anywhere else, proclaimed to love anyone more than I love Karth Onasi. Never have I ever. Never have I ever. I am a one-man woman, and it's always been only Karth. So he talks about how your character from the last scene has gone missing, and she took the Ebon Hawk with her, and that is why he's very interested in finding the Ebon Hawk.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't?
Well, the Ebon Hawk was gone before you left. You took a shuttle, not the Ebon Hawk.
No, I'm talking about Revan.
Oh,
So,
sorry.
Yeah, Karth is like, I need to find that ship. I need to find Revan. I just need her in my life. He is strongly implying that there was the romance between them.
Oh.
And there was never any dialogue questions about whether or not she was in a relationship with Karth. So I assume it's just like canon. If you played a light side Revan, they fell in love.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did I noticed this time Karth's hair does have a flop animation to it.
Yes, it does. Just when you think you couldn't love him more. The only thing about him is that he is a transparent hologram, and as we've discussed before, you can't see his whole round eyeball inside his head.
Yeah.
Which is not the most attractive thing.
So then you get, the cinematics in this game suck. I don't know what is wrong with this game, but you get like a nice, like pre-rendered scene of your ship flying out, and then cut, like, suddenly slam cut to black, then fade up, you're in the ship and you're like, oh, we're being shot at by something, and then like a slow fade out, and then another cutscene plays. It's just really janky. It doesn't work at all.
And Ashen is flying and he's like, oh no!
And you get shot down by random turrets and wake up to the soothing voice of Bao-Dur. Hello, Vanessa. I see
Hi.
you. General, you've been shot down.
I like it when a man calls me General. What a sweet, spiky-haired boy he is.
No, he's not spiky-haired. He's spiky-headed.
He's spiky-horned.
Yeah, or spiky-horned.
He has the worst voice actor I've ever heard in my entire life.
I like it.
He's reading all of his lines directly off of a card, but he's also like whispering them. It's
Yeah.
really fucking annoying.
He's like ASMR boy. And then he like respects you a whole bunch and calls you General.
He's a hand-to-hand boy, which is interesting. He have a power punch, can knock the force field right off of somebody.
It's funny that you call him hand to hand because he don't have a hand.
He's missing one hand.
But he has a he has a metal glove kind of hand, and then it hangs at the end of a just like exposed electrical current.
Yeah,
That seems
they called it
dangerous.
something. It's something Star Warsy.
Mm-hmm.
Proton reactor arm or some shit.
He does seem very dangerous, and there's definite sparks there, if you know what I mean.
Oh, are you saying you like this smooth-talking mechanic?
I do like him.
What's his
And his-
species?
No, not Ithorian. It's another I name, though, isn't it?
He a Darth
He's
Maul.
a Darth Maul. Yeah.
Oh.
He a Darth
But he
Maul.
have like peach colored flesh.
Yeah, he a
Not-
nice Darth
Is
Maul.
it Darth Maul from Dathomir?
Is he?
Yeah.
Darth Maul from Dathomir.
Isn't it Dathomir?
Right?
I think
he
I
looks like
Googled-
looks like the Knight brothers on Dathomir.
That's a good
speaking
point.
of speaking of Fallen Order.
He's an Iridian.
Oh. Whatever.
He is an Iridian, and he's very nice. He's very calm. He's a soothing presence, and he notes. I don't know. He might maybe since Matt is super evil. With me, he's like, I get a calming presence around you I never felt before.
Yeah, he's like, General, you seem like you've really like worked through some things. I'm very glad to see it. He doesn't really want to talk about the war very much.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. He's just like a cool, nice guy.
The Star Wars fandom wiki calls people that follow Darth Revan as Revanchists. Revanchists?
Revanchists?
Yeah, that's the word they make up for the followers of Revan.
I don't like it.
Revanchist.
No.
What would you call them?
Revanites?
Yeah, Revanite
That's exactly
sounds
what I was
way
thinking.
better.
Nice. It's agreed.
Agreed. Revanite it is. Gavel, gavel.
Square root cannon.
Yep. So, you're on this planet and you got shot down by, I guess, some rebooted auto turrets that these mercenaries are looking for. He's also got a little droid buddy, like one of them
Yes.
target droids from,
A little floaty ball.
I like that little floaty ball. He talks to it and it goes like bleep bloop.
We got shot down, but we did get up again.
You never can keep a Jedi down.
You can't. So he wants to travel with us
Drink a
because he
Bacta
knows
Drink a Culta drink.
he knows the area, which means we can only take one other person with us. Who did you take?
Ooh. Now, apparently Atten has a lot of dialogue here, but I took Kreia, who doesn't say much, but does have all her force support abilities.
I took Atten because Kreia is terrible.
Yeah. She'll just lecture you about chain immigration or something if you try to.
I didn't want to hear a lecture every time I gave someone like 5 credits or something.
And it sucks that these are the two choices you have right now. Either you have, well, I don't know if you should be holding a blaster because, you know, like women's arms aren't really strong enough to be holding a blaster.
Or you have, well, he's just going to buy drugs, so I don't know why you waste your money giving it to him.
Exactly. So who did you go with, Matt?
Huh? What were my options?
Your options are misogynist or libertarian.
This is a tough choice. I like both my options so much.
Well, Matt's not going to tell us.
I don't know. That didn't answer my question.
All right,
My
then, Matt.
options were toaster or refrigerator. Oh, okay.
Keep your secrets.
Matt, when you were arriving to Telos's surface, did you see a man named Seed talking to Gren?
Yeah, the Admiral, right?
I don't know. We saw Admiral Carthonasi.
Nah, I didn't see an Admiral Carthonasi.
Yeah, so he saw Admiral Seed. Okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he just yelled at him, and that was kind of it. The Grin was like, "We're gonna go get him," and the guy was like, "Don't worry about it. We don't actually want him." The end.
Interesting.
But Matt, that changes because you had a different origin or a Revan story than we did.
I guess. I mean, I you know, it's doing that thing where it's like making me tell the Revan story, and it annoys me.
I really like that.
But
think
I don't
that's super
fucking
clever.
remember, so I feel like I'm getting it wrong.
Well, but and remember in your story, Carthonasi starved to death on some tropical planet after
Nobody's
you
mentioned
murdered.
Carthonasi to me. It's all about Revan and Malik, and I don't really remember what happened there. Did
And
we
then you,
play?
shot all
was
of
Knights of the Old
Carthonasi's friends?
Republic take place during the Mandalorian Wars?
No.
Before?
It's like 5,000 years before episode 1.
No,
no,
Was that
that's
true?
not what I asked at all.
No, Matt, right after. It takes place right after the Mandalorian
KOTOR
Wars.
1 does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Like that's where Revan and Malik got all super powerful.
Yeah. Okay.
That is true. And I'm sorry, I wasn't fully listening to your question, and it was evident by my answer.
Yes, it was.
And actually, like, this plays into a lot of the plot of this game is what happened during the Mandalorian War, because Bao-Dur was serving with Revan and you, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know who this person in the black robe with the white mask is, but I have a feeling that they're a bad guy.
Oh, but when we get to that cutscene, his voice, his alien speech sounds just like the speech from that song and How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. I don't think I didn't make it that far. Like I said, I got stopped up at the military base.
No, Vanessa.
I got killed by a tank because my main character got hung up on the foot of a ship, and everybody died. And then I realized I was going to have to redo the whole military base, and I quit.
We aren't even at the military base yet.
Yeah, but I mean, this planet takes one, like, what all you have to say is you can go around the beach, you can attack the mercenaries, or you can go along the cliffs and there's mechanics and stuff.
I was like, yo, let's just kill those motherfuckers. And then we did. The mercenaries in the middle where they're like, where terrible voice actor boy is like, we could sneak around. I was like, no, I don't think so. That's not how we do this.
I like his voice.
Okay. It's okay. That's fine. It's fine to like bad things. I like cats.
Gonna call him, get him on the show. Then you'll feel bad.
I probably will.
Yeah, so we get to a military base. It is abandoned. It's full of very annoying poison vents for some damn reason.
Oh, the fucking poison!
There is I didn't realize there's a terminal right in the first room to turn off all the turrets in the base, which would have been useful. There is one
The
late
robots
halfway
are
through.
still active, though.
You can turn off the vents later.
Yeah.
You can't turn off all the turrets, just the ones in the first room.
Vanessa, the song I was thinking of was the one that's like Fahu Forest Dahu Torres.
Welcome Christmas time.
Yeah, like if you listen to him, he's just saying Fahu Forest Dahu Torres.
Welcome Christmas.
Anyway, back to the game.
This whole area, both the planet and, the planet and the military base, or not the military base, the mercenary base, where you get into the military base.
Yeah.
I had a whole issue this whole time with Kreia and, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm going to call him.
So you did take Kreia with you. Finally, we have an answer.
Oh, that was the question. Yes, I took Kreia. Kreia have force powers. Cartho and Nasty have a gun.
Cartho Nasty's not even in this game. Well, he's dead in your timeline.
Sorry, Cartho Nasty.
Yeah, that's At and Rand for you.
Anyway, I had a lot of problems with my characters running around and like we'd get in a fight and then we'd all be like low health and be like, all right, let's chill out for a minute and heal up. Nah, I think Kreia want to run the equivalent of what seemed to be like a half a mile to the next group of enemies so that she could get her ass killed. It was awful.
There was a section where Bao-Dur is like, oh, I can disarm these mines for you. And so I started doing that. Meanwhile, my main character ran across half the game map to fight that giant group of people. And also I was being shot at by these, the turrets. So it was stupid. I should have just taken my main character, used destroy droid on those mines because it destroys all of them at once.
Ooh.
And it would have been easy. But
Yeah, that minefield was real great for me too because I tried to disarm the first mine and Bao-Dur and what's her name? Crayon just plowed right fucking through it. Just ran right head first, and then they had just a sliver of health apiece, and they both died, and I had to do it all myself.
fortunately, I saved before going to
Jellicles
that.
can and Jellicles do, I guess.
Oh boy. And then right after the minefield, you get, the droid woman. She's like this droid mercenary who's like a droid master with her droids and she's throwing droids at you.
Mm-hmm.
She's
great. Like, my droids will get you for sure.
They don't.
They don't.
No.
Spoiler.
I thought she was going to be like some kind of really hard boss fight. No, she goes down pretty fast. And then you get to this military base, and once again, your companions are running, causing more fights so that you can fight 50 people at once. Mm-hmm. The AI is a little broken.
Well, they aren't bright characters.
There's some mercenaries that are real happy that you walked in to fight them.
Yeah, they're like, woohoo, we're going to get the bounty and everything.
But then I just like say hi to them really loud until their heads explode. Mm-hmm. What do you think I'm force shouting at them?
Just like you said, hi.
Yeah, I think it is.
I would think that
You're
for
negging them.
Yeah, that's
Sure.
what would destroy people. It would be like, you'll never live up to your full potential. Your father was right.
Your parents are much more successful than you'll ever be.
Yeah.
You squandered your potential.
You peaked in high school.
Girls laugh at you behind your back.
The reason people don't like you isn't your nerdy interests, it's your terrible personality.
And then their heads just pop one by one.
Yeah. Mara Jade will never be canon.
No. But they have made Teras Kazi canon, which is like halfway there.
I don't know what a Teras Kazi is, and I don't care to know, so let's move on.
Okay, first of all, it's a martial arts style, and it was a PlayStation 1 fighting game where you played as, like, Princess Leia versus Darth Vader. It was amazing.
Oh, I remember that.
That shit's actually pretty dope. That's one of the very few wink at the camera Easter eggs from this entire new series that I actually was like, yes.
Yep. No, Vanessa, you would like Teras Kazi. It's ridiculous.
I said I did not care to know.
Okay.
Virtua Fighter level graphics. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Real ugly.
Dang, I gotta play
No,
this game.
probably like
It's really
Tekken
good.
2. So
Someone
like
stole
not
my
good,
copy of
but
it. I gotta order another
Really?
one off eBay because I love that game.
I played some dumb fighting games back in the day. Y'all ever play that Toshinden Battle Arena?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, dude.
Just love being that tiny dude with his giant wheel or whatever the fuck it was, knocking people off the ring.
Dude, this Terrace Costa game looks like shit.
Oh,
it's
it's
not-
fucking terrible.
It's terrible, but it's fun.
PS1, son.
And this was like the same time as like Project Justice and Rival Schools.
Rival
Darth
Schools.
Vader versus Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Rival Schools and Rival Schools 2 are legitimately some of the best fighting games ever made.
Those games are fun.
It's a
I love the
travesty.
first Rival Schools game.
The
Remember
fucking
that-
Capcom has just let that lie fallow.
I know. It's such a cool IP.
There's that one because you had like these team special moves, and one where the one girl's spanking the other girl, and hearts come out to hit the other
Yeah.
fighter. Oh
good.
boy, problematic.
Are we just going to talk about fighting games now? Y'all remember Tatsunoko versus Capcom?
I love that game. I have
So
that.
good. So I played that on a hacked Wii back before it got released in the US. I played the Japanese version.
Oh,
I never
nice.
played the US version.
I have the US version. I want to get the US version of Street Fighter Cross Tekken because it's got Fat Mega Man, like the American box art style
does
Mega
it?
Man.
Yeah.
And I want
That's
to cosplay
cool.
as him because he is built exactly like me.
Yeah, you could pull that
That's
off. That's
amazing.
a deep cut too. That would be cool.
Yeah. Anyway,
Let's do it. Square Roots
back-
listeners, patreon.com/Square Roots podcast, hashtag get John a Mega Man costume. Also, the other thing was we're going to convince Jim to do a mohawk.
Oh yeah.
Was
Yeah,
I
you
bet
agreed
Jim
to
had
it
a-
last week.
Did Jim have a faux hawk ever? What's the odds of that?
Very high.
Yeah,
He
I
had
gotta.
that sort of Hawkeye haircut for a while.
Does he not have a faux
yeah?
hawk right
See, I'm
now?
gonna grow. I'm growing that back out. Actually,
We can see. Me
All
too.
right.
Me too. Growing it all out.
So you get there, and then Bao-Dur finds a control panel that like shows that maybe the ship went off to the Arctic wastes because that's like the only place it could be that has. And isn't because right now, it's actually pretty nice because the Ithorians have rebuilt this planet, made it livable. I don't know if you've noticed that. Like there's,
I noticed it's pretty. It has a beach. It has a lovely shore. It has everything.
but the Canox have gone a little crazy because the Ithorians haven't been able to take care of them because the Zerka has pushed them out of the area.
Yes, so the Canox were brought in to control the population of herbivores, but they didn't cull the herd properly, so now there are too many Canox.
Well, because they got kicked out. They're like in the middle of doing it, and then Zerka's like, well, we'll take over.
I did say it was their fault. I just said they didn't do it.
Yeah. And you do see like these, there's the shields that protect you from the rest of the acid atmosphere. You can see those around.
That Darth Malik really did a number on this planet. It's
Yeah.
very sad.
We killed him,
wrecked
though,
it
right?
Pretty bad. Yep. Yeah, I killed him.
Do I remember correctly that I killed him and took over?
I think
took
so.
my place back. I think
that
that's
sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds like something you'd do.
I mean, that's just not. There's only so many options. What was the evil ending? I don't remember. I remember that Jim managed to walk a tightrope down the middle so hard that it was unbelievable to us.
Well, he got the
I
good
think I
ending.
still did kill him though, right?
Yeah, you killed
did,
him.
but then you were like, "But let's all be friends now."
I think you saved Bastilla or something, and that's how you got the good ending, but you were dressed in evil robes, and that's why they took them off you, and that's why you're wearing underwear at the end.
Yeah,
That's
my
right.
character was almost totally nude at the end of the game.
Anyway, so Vanessa, do you remember Bao-Dur's reasoning on why it was that your ship was at the North Pole?
Because he finds a little blip, like a little break in the
Oh,
shields.
okay.
And he says, most people would think this was just a air, but I think there's something up there. So let's go to the North Pole, baby.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, there's no shuttle here, but there might be one inside. He does find there's one inside this military base.
Yeah.
which is full of poison gas, turrets. You can rescue a guy who keeps getting stuck on geometry.
That guy
sucks.
That guy sucks. I think that I led him to his death.
I did rescue him, but it's like, it's supposed to be an escort quest, but he will not follow you.
Yep. You have to keep walking back and be like, come on, buddy. Come on. Just walk through this door.
You have to go like a few steps and then let him catch up. And he'll like watch you walk a few steps. And then if you still have like eyes on him, then like eventually he'll run over to you.
Yep.
And
That
also,
sounds like a lot
I
of
did
fun.
run into some combat with him, and he likes to stand in between you and the enemy.
So there's you can turn off the poison gas. You find the ship, but they say, oh, we got to get these doors open or else you'll run into a wall, which is fine, except that Bao-Dur doesn't tell you also need these shuttle codes to get off the station. And I went through and like turned on this reactor to open the doors, got back to the ship, and then the game's like, oh, but don't forget about those shuttle codes. And I just started screaming at the game, what shuttle codes? No one's ever mentioned any shuttle codes to me.
Yeah, so to get the shuttle codes, you have to go and turn on the power, which then opens a door that has a whole bunch of beep-boop robots
I
behind it.
already blew them up, though, from a terminal.
Yeah, you can pass it earlier and just like be like, blow up robots behind this door. But then we run into our first real boss fight of the game.
Ooh.
It's a tank robot, I guess.
Yep.
Destroy droid worked just as well on it as it did on anything else.
I just tapped that button 5 times and it blew up.
Yeah, it was not a difficult boss battle.
I loved it.
Matt, do you have destroy droid?
Nope. I am avoiding light side powers entirely.
That's a dark. I
Wow.
think that's a dark side power, isn't it?
No.
No, it's the light side.
Oh, okay.
Because there's nothing wrong with like recycling mechanical.
Yeah, it's not like droids are conscious beings that, deserve their own rights or anything. It's fine to just fucking murder them.
So you get into the ship, fly out to the Arctic, and then you have another series of terrible cutscenes of the ship flying, which is fine. I like the one of you leaving Telos, like the grassy areas, because it looks like a Phantom Menace style thing with like animals watching you leave in a very Phantom Menace way. And then you land, or maybe special edition, and then you are getting to this Arctic Circle, and then you suddenly get a cutscene of HK droids talking about how they're going to shoot you down.
Yeah, they're like, question, what shall we do when this shuttle comes? Answer, we will shoot down the shuttle.
Obvious reiteration. Shooting down the shuttle will make it easy for us to kill them. Approval. I do like shooting down shuttles. Let's do it.
Yeah, essentially that's it. And I think as you're getting shot down, Atten shouts, "It wasn't my fault this time."
He sure does. But yeah, it's just this like fade in, like that cutscene fade in, Atten like sparks flying around the cockpit, fade out, the ship crashes, and then you talk to these HK droids, and they kind of don't want to tell you about who they're sent by, but they're like, assertive answer. We will get you back to our ship. Veiled threat. Perhaps you should give up. Lots of talking. And you blow them up. Once again, explode droids. Tap that 3 times. They're all dead.
Yep. They do send some like living mines at you or something, or like robot
but those
mines.
Also get destroyed by Destroy Droid.
Yeah, that's true.
How was that for you, Matt, since you don't have the win button?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, yeah, this is where I stopped.
Never mind. So then after you destroy the droids, I checked in on Bao-Dur, who's face down in the snow. And it's, it says he'll be fine as long as he gets help soon and shelter. But you don't pick him up or help him. You just leave him in the snow.
Yeah, face down. And I mean, the ship has crashed, but it is also right there. It's like you could put him inside the ship or something, but no. So you wander around this big plateau, and there's just one little lump, and that's where you gotta go.
Now, do these ships not have seatbelts? Because being ejected from a vehicle seems very dangerous. And you're always ejected from every time, like the second shuttle crash now, you're just lying outside. So it means that you were forcibly thrown through it somehow.
That's because they can't animate you being inside the ship and then crawling out.
I guess you're right. You just are all lying in front of the ship. As you go inside, you see the handmaidens tend to Bao-Dur, and then everyone gets thrown in prison again.
Yeah, the handmaidens are these white-haired ladies who we keep seeing around.
Yeah, the one with the pixie cut is one of them.
Yeah. And then we have my favorite scene with Kriya and Aten. They're both in their prison cells, and Kriya's like, "Hey, Aten." And he's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "You suck. You're the worst. You got us shot down so many times. I fucking hate you. You're just like, you're barely better than a dog. You're the worst."
I'm now going to use my Jedi powers to read your mind, because you seem to dislike Jedis a lot.
She's like, "I'm going to probe your mind." And he's like, "Don't you do it." And she's like, "Here I go." And she does probe his mind. And then she's like, "Oh, well, if she finds out, you're going to be in trouble. She'll never look at you again." And he's like, "You can't tell her." And she's like, "I'm going to tell her unless you be her slave," essentially.
Yeah. She's like horrible.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's like, "You're her slave now. You're going to do everything she tells you to and be completely obedient." Also, she starts calling him murderer.
Yep. So Aten's got some naughty secrets.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, you are being lectured by Atris. She's the leader of this secret Jedi school they built into an irrigation facility.
Yeah, Atris comes striding out, and she's like, "Oh my god, it's you. I remember you from high school. You sucked so hard. Everyone hated you. Why are you here? Get out of my house."
And then I'm like, okay, pretend I don't remember what happened, because I didn't get that scene where Kriya explained to me what happened. Mm-hmm. So she's like, "Oh, you forgot. Don't act like you forgot that you were exiled from the Jedi and had this trial, and I was in this trial, and you like went to go help Revan against the Mandalorian." And I'm like, I get into this 10-minute argument with her. Yeah.
I didn't get any of that. I got her fall.
Oh no, this is new. Like, you wouldn't have got this part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gets in this.
You
new. Basically are defending yourself for helping out people, and you can you can skip this. This is all optional, but basically I'm debating her until I make her break down, and she's like, "I just want you to fail. I just think you're terrible, and you should have never been a Jedi."
What?
And I'm like, oh, so now we get
she hates you.
Then why is she bothering with you then?
She's not into, like, I think she didn't know it was you. She wanted the ship back or something.
I don't know. You are like frenemies or something.
Yeah. And she's like, "So are you going to be a Jedi now?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't know. Can you train me to be a Jedi again?" She's like, "No."
Yeah. It's like, "No way. I would never train you to be a Jedi. By the way, look what I got." And she lights up your lightsaber, and she's like, "I got your lightsaber."
You stuck it in a rock, and that really pissed me off.
Yeah, and you're like, "Why do you have my lightsaber?" And she's like, "I keep it to remind myself how much you suck every day."
Yeah. She sucks. And she's surrounded by these identical looking Ikani ladies.
Mm-hmm.
They're called handmaidens. And she's like, "Look, I'm going to my room. Don't follow me in there." And you can't. It's locked.
Yeah.
But then you also get a cutscene of her talking to this one handmaiden who's like the C student handmaiden.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "I'm going to send you out. You're going to follow this guy, and you're going to go on his ship and be his friend. Okay?" And she's like, "What? Why would I do that?" "'Cause you like Jedis and stuff. I don't know. Also, you're terrible. You're a bad student."
Yeah, everyone hates you, so you should also go and sit at the losers table.
Yep. Because she's called the last of the handmaidens, because she, like, her grades are the worst.
Yep. So I did get some more information by talking to some of these handmaidens. I'm like, "What's her deal? What's going on here?" And they said, well, she, like, you were her hero and then you failed. And
Oh.
it also kind of implies that she was almost persuaded by your defense and then was, like, really offended that she was almost persuaded. So
I wonder if I'll get the same cutscene with Kreia, or if I'll get a whole different thing. Like, maybe because I'm clearly bad, she'll want to be my bud.
Well, she was yelling at Atten, not at you. And it wasn't Kreia who hates me. It's this lady Atris who hates me.
Oh, I got a little lost there, guys.
Oh, it's okay.
yeah, it's okay, buddy. Just
Don't
hang
worry
in there.
about it.
We're almost done.
Yeah, we're almost done. I like that all these handmaidens are all identical because they all have the same parents. They're all sisters.
Mm-hmm. Except for the last of the handmaidens.
Yeah, who looks kind of different and her grades suck.
And she has a different father, apparently.
Well, I keep asking her about that and she gets really mad. And I realize how, like, there's two things that your Jedi can do in this one. One is ask Bao-Dur how he lost his arm, which, straight up, don't do that if someone has a missing limb. Just, if they want to tell you about it, they'll tell you about it, but don't ask about it. And second, asking people about adoption and parenting and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're essentially, are you adopted?
Don't do that either.
Why don't you look like your siblings?
And she gets pretty, they're all pretty defensive about how they all look alike. And they're like, well, if you start asking too many questions, they're like, this is super rude. And you can apologize. And they're like, yeah, apologizing doesn't really help the fact you were super rude.
Yeah, which is pretty empowered of them. They also explained to me that Atris's plan is to rebuild the Jedi, but the handmaidens have taken an oath to never learn the Force, so they can essentially monitor the Jedi.
They'll be like not the Templars. Yeah, I guess the Templars in the Mage Tower.
Yeah.
From Dragon Age.
Then you're like, well, isn't Atris a Jedi, though? And she's in charge of you? And they're like, well, Atris has proven herself, so Atris and us will monitor all the Jedi.
Yeah.
Which seems not very Jedi-like for someone who claims to be a great Jedi.
I guess Matt will do this because you can you can get them mad and then challenge them all to duels for XP.
Oh.
You don't kill them. It's just like a hand-to-hand. So you can fight all these ladies.
I'm going to duel these ladies. I'm going to duel them all night.
And you also find out that Atris preserved a bunch of artifacts from Dantooine before it got blown up from the Jedi Academy there.
Mm-hmm.
But you kind of want to like look at them because they might have lightsabers and stuff, but they're all locked in Atris's room. And I keep trying to convince the last of the handmaidens to let me grab some things, and she's not having it.
Nope. I'm not sure I saw the scene where the last of the handmaidens was supposed to follow me around. Maybe I did.
Oh, actually, Vanessa, it says that it only happens if you have a male Jedi.
Interesting. Sexism.
Well, I guess there's that. You get a party member, I don't, or vice versa.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
Exciting. I wonder who it will be.
I don't know. So, did she show up on your ship?
No.
Ah.
Oh.
So at this point, you find T3, who has raided their servers and stole lots of info because basically Atris plugged him in to get info from T3.
Yep. And T3 was just like, download.
Yep. So you go back to your ship and watch some VHS tapes of your trial. And as soon as your trial's over, it shows you like being told that what you did was very naughty. And then you stick your lightsaber into the big stone in the middle and walk out. And then everyone just talks shit about you after you leave.
Yeah, but in a weird way. They're like, should we tell her why we really want to exile her? And they're like, no, we can't tell her, but maybe someday we can tell her after she's been gone for a while. But she's super important. Like, there's something going on there.
And they also mention a master of Revan and Malak. And my suspicion, now Vanessa's the only one who's played far enough to find this out. I think Kreia is the master of Revan and Malak. That is, it's because they're talking about how they had a one who trained both of them. So
interesting.
That is my suspicion.
That's my suspicion as well. I concur.
But you've played this before.
Yeah, but I forgot. I can't remember things that happened. When did this game come out? Like 10 years ago?
2005? So 15
I can remember
years ago?
something from 2005? Come on. Jeez, what do you take me for?
Then I get like a series of cutscenes of Bao-Dur wanting to talk about stuff. The handmaiden shows up on the ship. She snuck in and she's like, I'll just live in the cargo hold. And you're like, well, no, you can like have a room. She's like, that's very nice, but I'll just live in the cargo hold. And
This didn't happen to me at all.
yeah, she's going to be in my party. So that
Interesting.
is the end of that chonker. I did have a side quest where I found a black market pistol on the bodies of one of those people that tried to get the droid back from me in the dock. And then you can like talk to Gren about it, or you can talk to one of those two those brother shopkeepers that hate each other.
Mm-hmm.
One of them's bad. He's the one that sells all the Dark Jedi shit.
Yeah.
And he has a bunch of smuggling stuff you can do, like steal leaves from the Ithorians and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And what I did was I narked on him to the cops, and then the cops gave me all the stuff they were looking for. And then when they were about to sell it to a TSC agent or TSF agent, everyone got arrested. And the smuggler shopkeeper man was real mad at me and said he'd get back at me later.
Oh, nice.
I did all the smuggly jobs, and then I tried to turn him in, but it wouldn't let me by then, I think. We did definitely kill some cops, so...
Oh, that's probably why they're not super happy with you.
Maybe...
Vanessa, were there any other side quests that we missed?
I don't think so. I thought there would be one because I found a guy who was like in the med bay and said he was an ambassador, but he doesn't do anything.
I feel like we come back to this station later, so maybe he's someone you can do a side quest with later.
And I did agree to look for someone to sell fuel to the station.
I saw that there was a door to a sub-level of that military base, and I was so happy to find out it was locked and we don't have to go there.
Yeah,
because I was like,
too.
oh god, how long is this chunker?
Yeah.
Oh well, but fortunately, I think that's
So
for
long.
later as well. What about, hey Matt, sing me a song about my minigame corner.
John's Bullshit Minigame Corner!
Nat, did you play any Pazak?
No, I hate that shit.
I don't like card games, but I did do some of the pod racing.
Did you do the swoop racing?
Yep, I did swoop racing. I missed getting the championship by 0.02 seconds or something, so I was like,
Holy cow.
I'll do that later. I really like the swoop racing. I think it's fun. It's like F-Zero-y in a fun way. So that, a thumbs up to that, thumbs down to Pazak, because it's just a gambling minigame, and those are super boring.
I like Pazak, it's blackjack, but a little bit more strategic.
Hey, next time on Square Roots, why don't we play through Nar Shaddaa?
Narsha, what?
Nar Shaddaa.
So I don't have to finish this
What?
planet, I can just go straight to that one?
Well, I mean, you can.
If you can get off the
you
planet,
can't
sure,
get off the
buddy.
planet until you talk to the handmaiden. But yeah, Nar Shaddaa, buddy. All right, squarely against Vanessa.
Well, I can go first. Mine was really obvious. This game is glitchy and annoys the shit out of me.
So you're squarely against the glitches?
Well, I'm squarely against the glitches when they fucking kill me.
Vanessa.
I'm squarely against Ayn Rand.
Now, which one is that? Is that Ayn Rand or is that Correa?
Why not both?
At least Ayn Rand mostly wants to do the right thing.
He seems to. Yeah, he's
Except-
a little bit of a coward. He's very much a Han Solo.
Yeah. Or a, what's the name of the guy from Final Fantasy IX with the tail?
Zidane.
As- Zidane.
He's definitely a Zidane.
Yeah.
He would drive a cherry Camaro for sure.
Did I tell y'all about the glitch where Bao-Dur, Darth Maul, vanished under a floor?
No.
Yeah, this is a real good game. He vanished under a floor, and then everybody died, and then he's stuck under the floor and cannot get out. Like the floor walls. Like the floor had walls that I couldn't get out from under. To the point that I had to like reload a save. So fucking annoying.
I hit a Sith Inquisitor so hard in Jedi Fallen Order that it got stuck in the floor.
I saw that clip on Twitter or something.
Yeah.
That game is also super glitchy.
Yeah.
I fell through like a part of the game that hadn't loaded on one of the planets, and I couldn't do anything but swing my lightsaber.
Jim, I heard that you finished Jedi Fallen Order to me, which is a monumental task, I have to say, because every time I turn it on to play it, I just end up screaming at it.
I love it. I actually like it a lot.
Really? Now, are the slide puzzles the best puzzles you've ever done in a game? Or
Save it for the bonus episode.
So Vanessa, what are you squarely against or roundly for?
I already told you. Jim, what are you squarely against or roundly for?
I'm not sure. This is like, this is more of a neutral, but like it's still striking to me how much this game feels like the first game. But like worse somehow.
Well, like it reuses a lot of the assets, like the apartments that you stay in on the Citadel are the same ones from Telos last time.
Like nothing feels new in the game though. That's what's weird is to play a sequel where nothing feels new about it.
I like the writing a lot better. I like the, I think it's a bit more interesting. It's not just like good guys and bad guys.
That's true. It was even more boring in the last one.
Wow.
Hot take. Golly. Johnny.
I am squarely against just the weird cutscenes that just start and stop randomly.
Just
and when I got to the ship,
always make you think that you missed something.
Just this series of companion cutscenes that just went on for 5 minutes. It just kept like fading in and out and like people talking to you.
Yeah, I got those too.
It was really
Oftentimes
weird.
you have to like, well, for me, when a cutscene starts, I'll have to hit the window home key and then go back into the game in order to see the cutscene.
That happens to me a lot too.
I want to like run the game in a window, but it seemed too complicated to do that. So.
Right. But otherwise, I'm having fun. I really like this game.
We're all having a good time.
We didn't get any emails, Vanessa.
That's okay. Maybe next time.
Send us some emails. We like talking. We like answering questions or hearing your stories.
What's the email address?
squarerootspodcast@gmail.com.
squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word. Square Roots Podcast.
Vanessa,
Yeah.
if someone wanted to support the show, how would they do that?
Well, they could tell their friends. They could make like a cardboard sign and go out on the street and just hold it up and be like, "Hey, Square Roots." Or if they wanted to like go that extra step, they could join the Patreon.
Ooh. That's got like the 2 levels. The $3 level where you can listen to all our bonus episodes, and there's lots of them. Or the $5 level where you can vote on upcoming games.
That's true. Both levels are great. There's some very good bonus content on there and more every month. So if you enjoy the show, if you want to help us get some good equipment and get maybe some occasional advertising to grow our listenership, buy some games. You know, the cost of games, they add up even though they're old. We appreciate anyone who is able to join. And we appreciate people who don't.
Yeah. We're just glad you're here.
But if you do join, you get the very best perk.
Yes.
And that is Jim reading your name at the end of the show.
Am I reading all the names this week?
No, it's fine.
But you will begin.
Yep.
Oh, I'll go. I will begin. 4chan is Henry Bowers, Aaron Bachman, Aaron Little, Adam Zimmerman, Alexander Jokic, Amanda Douglas, Andrew O, Andy Best, Andy M, Andy Smith, Armin Hammer, Benjamin Avner, Brady A. Berman, Bree Girth, Brian Pitt, Cameron Shoei, Kevin Mosser, Chewy I Hardly Knew He, Chris Penyak, Chris Ryan, Chris Wilder, Christian Go, Citrus C, Cyril the Wolf, David Green, David Shook, and Devin Sloan.
We'd also like to thank D. Jethro, Dr. Steve Stone, Eric Garby, fine, say everyone's name, at least it annoys Matt, Florian Jonas Kramer, G. Bailey, Galindo, George Brady, Nawford, Good, let the hate flow through you. Gregory, Halloween candy has turned my mouth into a desert of pain. Have you heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueass? Heavy Metal Jesus, Hexagon, Hudson Roth, Huxley Iguana. I did it all for the Wookiee. In loving memory of sexy grandma. It's a Kawami. Mario. Jake Dickerson, James Hostetler.
Here comes
Jameson,
the Hostetler.
Jared Collins, Jonathan Ellsworth, Jonathan Lee, Jordan O'Boyle, Joseph, Joshua Bennett, and Just Jerry.
Justin Ham, KGG Loth, Lex Averial, Livin' La Vida Yoda, Mary, Queen of Scoffs, Matt Jorgensen, Matthew Casterline, Matthew Newland, Megan Sullivan, Michael Crawford, Miguel Torres, Nathan Poirot, No Gods, No Masters, Patrick W. Bears, Paul Bursch, Vanessa's mom for real, that's my real mom, I love you, mommy, PJ Enns, Race Jenkins, Randy Pierce, Reddit is Harold Lauder, Rusty Kamada, Robert M. Pullum, Robert T., and Ron 2.
Ross Hartley, Ryan Miller, Samu Mitchell, Sean Arata, Sean Gonzalez, Sean Walsh, Sexy Grandma's Dead, Long Live Sexy, Grand Moff Tarkin, Square Roots Con 2020, August 20th at Matt's Place. Squall would beat Cloud in a fight. Damn right he would. His sword has a gun in it. Stephen Crock, Stephen Paget, Stu Skeel, Styo the Holder, Tabumpkins, that one guy, the Holiday Armadillo, the Muddy Monarch, the Phantom Scofflaws of the Opera, Tom, Tracy Tanoff, Tyler Petty, Vanessa's fourth mom, Vanessa's mom, War Childress, Wash in the Wind, Wonder Swan, and the infamous Genko Belloba. Genko Belloba.
Send us an email. You know our email address. It's squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. If you absolutely cannot be bothered to send an email, please come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group for Smart, Cool, Very Attractive People. It's actually very good, and we have a nice positive community. If you want a place to talk about games where people won't be like, nah, noob, I'll pwn you, try us. Or you can tweet at us at Square Roots Pod. Jim does a great job of running the Twitter. Please rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, everyone, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa.
Star Wars, come on, it's Star Wars. This is the Star Wars on our pod. Jim, Mary, Vanessa, and Matthew. Also Johnny. Play some Star Wars. We'll all go to the planets and have fun adventure. Then we'll rescue some people. There's side quests where you can do some smuggling if you want. I can't believe that's not our theme for this season.
I've been on a couple of dates where the person ends up just talking about homeopathic medicine and astrology the whole time, and it's super annoying.
Did I ever tell you about the date I went on? Okay, so I'll have to cut around the thing Matt said. But I did go on I'll put this at the end of the episode. I went on a date where the guy had a full range of MLM spices to sell me.
No!
And he talked about what a great opportunity not just it is for me to buy these spices, but I could sell them too.
I definitely, a couple of years ago, went on a couple of dates with a nice lady who was super into the keto lifestyle and did bring it up several times, like, I could change your whole life. And I was like, oh boy, just gotta buy in, right? How about we just have another drink?
Anyway, back to the show.
Log.
Vanessa, do you want to host this time?
Okay, let me pull up the notes.
Has
I
Vanessa
didn't talk
been,
about how I've been reading X-Men. That's the one thing I keep meaning to bring up on the show. I'm like 2 decades in at this point.
glug glug?
No.
Vanessa's
Okay.
always
Just-
glug glug.
I'm not glug glug blah blah. I'm just a little brain fried.
Okay.
I am having a rum and coke, but this will be my last. We don't need a last week situation where by the end of the episode, I was shouting and slurring my speech.
I haven't taken any edibles yet either.
Last week's episode, last week's Matthew was, listeners, last week's Matthew was brought to you by Kraken Black Spiced Rum. That was a bit of a mess. Actually went and
I
bought
had
another
2
bottle of it. I
beers.
really liked it.
Last episode. But I'm not drinking today because I basically just woke up, and if I drink now, it's like drinking right when I wake up, which is
No, that's rough.
never a good idea.
I always felt weird when I worked overnights about going home and cracking a beer at 7 a.m., but it's like, when the fuck else are you going to do it?
Yeah.
Then your friends want you to come over and, like, party, and it's like, at like 8 p.m., and it's like, I mean, I don't want to have a beer first thing in the morning.
Vanessa, did you open up the notes?
Let me see. I
The
think
note
so.
log.
The
I didn't
note
open up the notes.
log. Okie dokie, here I go.
I still got to finish this fucking edit. God damn it.
You haven't finished it? I thought you finished it.
I got to add the music. I got to, like, find
I can
some music to add.
I can drop a hot track of me doing the Star Wars theme song.
I seriously thought about...
Vanessa's
I
gonna drop some hot bars.
I seriously considered suggesting that the 4 of us do a fucking terrible acapella Star Wars theme.
We could do that at the end of the episode. I'm fine with that.
I have a little kazoo.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. Okay,
Yeah.
let's do it.
Okay.